snacking the gateway to a new food culture? Or are we simply shifting our culture to a place where we focus to eat to fuel our bodies, not valuing the social experience around it anymore? Could snacking be the solution for a new, nutritionally balanced food culture? I grew up in a restaurant where food was highly valued, and believe me, I often enjoyed amazing food. My mom, who some of the Swiss in the room might know, is Irma Duetsch Kubik, a 2-star Michelin chef. My dad and I both graduated from here, the world's first hospitality management school, the EHL. I have cooked, eaten, and celebrated amazing food. And I have come to the conclusion that there is much more needed to our enjoyment of food than just the dish in front of us. The social experience is highly influencing our perception of food. In my parents' restaurant, our executive chef prepared and served dishes for over 30 years with my mother. Funny enough, when my mom was not around, it happened quite frequently that the guests complained that the food was somehow not the same as when she was around. Why? How can this be? Even if she had no hand in cooking of the meal, her presence or absence influenced the taste of the dish. Now, I understand that most of us don't get to eat in Michelin Star restaurants every day or eat dishes prepared by executive chefs, and yet the social experience is definitely influencing our perception of the food and of our eating behavior. You may have tried to recreate your grandma's favorite dish in your own kitchen, but without the familiar, charming smell of her house and her kitchen chatter, it just doesn't taste the same, right? So would you agree with me if I say that changing our social environment also changes our eating behavior? The Hartman groups of analyzers of how Americans eat as a culture published that today a fairly stunning 46% of all adult eating occasions are undertaken alone. In a similar study of Mondelēz International, over 4,000 respondents out of UK, Germany, France, Italy, and Spain confirmed that nearly half the food consumed was undertaken while snacking. Though snacking is not new to our European cultures, just think about the Kaffee und Kuchen, Goûter, Zvieri und Znüni, Mirandas, Aperitif, or whatever else we call them in our culture. So today, eating is less and less a social experience, as we know. We see that there is less time invested in the preparation of meals and snacks. We see that there is less time for shared food. We also see that there is less time invested for washing up and drying up. I'm definitely not complaining about that. But this is the result. There is less and less mindful eating. You might be asking yourself, what does the absence of social eating have to do with mindful eating? Well, let's have a closer look into the behavior of snacking. The Mondelēz International definition of snacking is everything that is eaten in between meals or as a meal replacement. Due to time constraints, we're giving up many opportunities for social eating, and we are starting to combine eating with doing other tasks. Indeed, many people blame hectic lifestyles for poor eating habits. Eating is less and less a social experience, as we know, and it's being replaced with small snacking moments throughout the day. We tend to eat alone. We also tend to eat in combination with doing other things, which may lead to eating more frequently, mindlessly, and not always nutritionally balanced. So let us look back at recent history. After World War II, the social landscape changed. Fewer people were eating regular large meals at home. This was because mothers entered the workforce, second, single parents' households increased, and third, technologies entered our homes through television and eventually internet and smartphone. Overall, all these changes contributed to shorten our traditional social family sit-down meals. Just think of the now nearly forgotten practice of workers and school children returning home midday for family lunches. Or the family gatherings for coffee and cakes, Kaffee and Kuchen. They are things of the past. Simply put, the age-old ritual of us eating as a family together has been replaced by the solitary practice of eating alone at our desks. So, what is this new culture? What's the problem? We all multitask. So what's wrong with eating alone at our desk? Well, the problem is you don't think of what you eat. It becomes mindless. You might end up eating more and not always nutritionally balanced, which is simply not a good thing. There is no one there to see what you're choosing to eat and how much of it you're eating. As a matter of fact, and I don't know if you have thought about that, social eating can help with portion control, as individuals feel accountable for what is eaten to the group. But snacking in and of itself is not at all bad. Taking a longer look back in history to our early ancestors, we used to be very healthy snackers. We mainly ate nuts, berries, fresh proteins. So, would you agree with me? Snacking per se does not mean unhealthy food. With the domestication of crops and animals came more frequent, regular sit-down meals, which became rituals. These meals were still healthy. More recently, these meals then morphed to large, time-consuming sit-down meals. And now, we're losing the social aspect of it. So, the problem is that we are eating alone more frequently and not always nutritionally balanced. So let us go back to our initial thought. Is snacking the gateway to a new food culture? Some think that we need to fight snacking, but I can hardly see us returning to large, time-consuming social meals 3 times a day. Instead of trying to fight snacking, we should offer 3 things. 1, a simple way to keep track of our food consumed. 2, a wider selection of nutritionally balanced snacking solutions. And 3, a platform to celebrate new rituals, social experiences that encourage us for mindful eating again. It is my strong belief that our body does not only need food for fuel, but our body needs food for the soul, where we nurture the social experience. On another note, could snacking be a cure for obesity? If the pragmatic problem is that we are eating too much, the tragic problem is that we are remarkably ill-equipped to confront this problem directly. Learn to eat healthy, get plenty of exercise, watch out junk food. We have heard these messages for years now. But the truth is, if we continue to indulge at the current caloric pace, none of these solutions will ever prove to work. But rituals, celebrating social snacking could work. They could be part of the solution as they encourage us to eat more mindful, portion-controlled, healthier food. You might be asking yourself, what are some examples of social snacking? Well, there are street food festivals taking place all over the world, like the Lucky Rice Night Food Market in Brooklyn. Street food festivals have gone gourmet and are today inspiration for high-end retailers and Michelin Star chefs. In 2012, Heston Blumenthal, who is one of only 4 British chefs to receive 3 Michelin stars, has signed a contract with British supermarket chain Waitrose to assist with the launch of a selection of ready-to-eat meals. Just as consumers are looking to get inspiration outside, restaurateurs are finding inspiration there as well, as they include street snacks and dishes on their daily menus. In Amsterdam, web service Treat Je Mee, named after the Dutch expression for dinner for 2, has launched a website where chefs or home-based cooks, called bird chefs or neighborhood chefs, can upload dishes, prices, and where to put up or where to pick up the food. Members of the network can then figure out via postcode what is cooking nearby. And they also offer the option of eating together with others at the chef's table, again, underlining the social aspect of it. But imagine offering a similar solution to your neighborhood for the school children when they come home for lunch or at 4 o'clock. Why should every mother have to cook separately? What if we could offer a similar platform for them? In the UK, Jane Mason from Virtuous Bread is establishing healthier communities. She plans to create a very nostalgic and almost forward-thinking initiative by implementing neighborhood bread ovens to encourage baking and social eating again. So positive as much as negative reinforcement is a vital part for people to meet their goals. And digital can provide a virtual social community to do that. Massive Health has introduced a mobile app called The Eatery, where your eating behavior is analyzed rather than the calories. Users can snap a picture of the food they want to eat, describe the portion size, and members of the network who are health-conscious eaters will then get back to you with positive and bad, negative eating behaviors, and maybe even suggest areas of improvement. As you can see, the creation of new rituals, new social experiences around snacking requires reimagined opportunities and behaviors. And it represents a really exciting time for consumers and entrepreneurs alike. Coming back to my initial question, is snacking the gateway to a new food culture? Indeed, I believe so. I even think it can be the creative cooking pot for a new imagined food culture, a possible solution even for obesity, if we are able to offer a wider selection of nutritionally balanced snacking solution, an easy way to keep track of the food consumed, and last but not least, a platform where we celebrate new rituals, memorable social experiences. Thank you.